Behaviorism in education. What is behavioral learning theory? Have you ever wondered how people learn and behave? Why do some students excel in certain subjects while others struggle? How can teachers positively influence their students' behavior and motivation? These are some of the questions that behavioral learning theory tries to answer. Behaviorism in education, or behavioral learning theory, is a branch of psychology that focuses on how people learn through their interactions with the environment. It is based on the idea that all behaviors are acquired through conditioning, which is a process of reinforcement and punishment. According to this theory, learning is a change in observable behavior that results from experience. This article will explore the history, concepts, and applications of behavioral learning theory in education. We will also discuss the benefits and drawbacks of working with a behavioral learning model and how to balance it with other learning models. Overview of behavioral learning theory. Behavioral learning theory emerged in the early 20th century as a reaction against introspective psychology, which relied on subjective reports of mental states and processes. Behaviorists such as John B. Watson and B.F. Skinner. Behaviorists proposed that environmental stimuli and consequences shape behavior and that learning occurs through a process of operant conditioning. Operant conditioning involves reinforcing or punishing behaviors based on their outcomes. For example, if a student gets praised for answering a question correctly, they are more likely to repeat that behavior in the future. On the other hand, if a student gets scolded for talking out of turn, they are less likely to repeat that behavior in the future. Behavioral learning theory has been influential in many fields, such as education, therapy, animal training, and artificial intelligence (AI). However, it has also been criticized for being too simplistic, deterministic, and neglecting the role of cognition, emotion, and social factors in human behavior. While both behavioral and social learning theories focus on the study of human behavior, there are notable differences between the two. Behavioral learning theory primarily emphasizes the role of external stimuli and consequences in shaping behavior. By contrast, social learning theory, proposed by Albert Bandura, highlights the significance of observational learning and the influence of cognitive processes on behavior. Social learning theory suggests that individuals learn by observing others and imitating their actions. It also considers the role of internal mental processes in learning. Social learning theory differs from behavioral learning theory in several ways. Social learning theory acknowledges that people can learn without direct reinforcement or punishment. Social learning theory recognizes that people can learn from observing others as well as from their own experiences. Social learning theory incorporates cognitive factors as well as environmental factors in explaining behavior. Benefits of working with a behavioral learning model. Implementing a behavioral learning model in education offers several advantages. Firstly, it provides a systematic and structured approach to teaching, enabling educators to set clear expectations and establish consistent routines in the classroom. The use of positive reinforcement encourages desirable behaviors, fostering a positive learning environment. Additionally, behaviorism emphasizes measurable outcomes, allowing educators to assess student progress and tailor instruction accordingly. By focusing on observable behaviors, behaviorism provides a practical framework for effective teaching and learning. Working with a behavioral learning model can have several benefits for educators and students alike. Some of these benefits are: it provides a clear and objective way of measuring and evaluating student performance and progress. It allows teachers to tailor instruction and feedback according to each student's needs and abilities. It helps teachers manage classroom behavior and discipline by using positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement strategies. It motivates students to learn by rewarding them for their achievements and efforts. It helps students develop self-regulation skills by teaching them how to monitor and control their own behavior. Application of behaviorism in the classroom. There are many ways that teachers can apply behaviorism in the classroom to enhance student learning and behavior. Here are some examples of behaviorist teaching strategies. Positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement entails offering rewards or incentives to strengthen desired behaviors. This can include verbal praise, stickers, tokens, or other tangible rewards. By positively reinforcing desired behaviors, educators can motivate students and increase the likelihood of those behaviors being repeated. For example, a teacher can praise a student for completing their homework, give them a sticker for raising their hand, or reward them with extra recess time for being cooperative. Positive reinforcement can have several benefits, such as it encourages students to repeat desirable behaviors and achieve their goals. It boosts students' self-esteem and confidence. It fosters a positive and nurturing learning atmosphere. Negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is the removal of an unpleasant stimulus after a behavior to increase its frequency. For example, a teacher can reduce the amount of homework for a student who performs well on a test, allow them to skip a quiz if they score high on a pre-test, or exempt them from a penalty if they correct their mistake. Negative reinforcement can have several benefits, such as it helps students avoid or escape from unpleasant or aversive situations. It increases students' motivation and persistence. It reduces students' anxiety and stress. Punishment. Punishment involves applying negative consequences to discourage undesirable behaviors. It can take the form of reprimands, timeouts, or loss of privileges. For example, a teacher can scold a student for talking out of turn, take away their privileges for breaking a rule, or give them extra work for not paying attention. However, it is important to use punishment judiciously and consider its potential impact on the student's motivation and self-esteem. Punishment can have several drawbacks, such as it can cause students to resent or fear the teacher or the subject. It can damage students' self-esteem and confidence. It can lead to aggression, defiance, or avoidance behaviors. Modeling. Modeling involves demonstrating desired behaviors for students to observe and imitate. Educators can act as positive role models by displaying appropriate behavior and providing examples of how to perform certain tasks or handle specific situations. For example, a teacher can show students how to solve a math problem, how to write an essay, or how to behave in a group project. Modeling can have several benefits, such as it provides students with clear and concrete examples of what to do and how to do it. It helps students acquire new skills and knowledge faster and easier. It influences students' attitudes and values by showing them what is acceptable and desirable. Shaping. Shaping is the process of gradually reinforcing successive approximations of a desired behavior until it is mastered. This technique breaks down complex behaviors into smaller, manageable steps, allowing students to develop the desired skills or behaviors gradually. For example, a teacher can reward a student for writing one sentence, then two sentences, then a paragraph, until they can write a full essay. Shaping can have several benefits, such as it helps students overcome difficulties and challenges by breaking down complex tasks into manageable steps. It allows teachers to monitor and adjust instruction and feedback according to each student's progress and performance. It fosters creativity and innovation by encouraging students to try new things and explore different possibilities. Cueing. Cueing is the process of providing hints or prompts to steer a student's behavior or performance. For example, to facilitate students' memory recall, problem solving, and task completion, educators have the option to employ different cues. These cues may include verbal cues, like asking questions or offering reminders, visual cues, such as gestures or pictures, and physical cues, like touch or movement. Cueing can have several benefits, such as it helps students focus their attention and memory on relevant aspects of the learning material or situation. It supports students' comprehension and understanding by clarifying concepts or instructions. It enhances students' engagement and participation by stimulating their curiosity and interest. Behaviorist teaching strategies. Incorporating behaviorist teaching strategies can enhance student engagement and learning. There are many teaching strategies that are based on behavioral learning theory. Some of these strategies are direct instruction. This method involves clear and structured teaching, with a focus on repetition and practice. It ensures that students receive consistent and explicit information. Token economy. In a token economy system, students earn tokens or points for exhibiting appropriate behavior. These tokens can be exchanged for rewards or privileges, providing students with a tangible incentive to stay on task. Prompting and fading. Educators can use prompts to guide students toward the correct response. As the student becomes proficient, prompts are gradually reduced, allowing them to respond independently. Behavior contracts. Behavior contracts outline specific goals and rewards for meeting them. Students and teachers both sign the contract, making the expectations clear and encouraging students to take responsibility for their actions. Timeout. Timeout is a temporary removal of a student from a reinforcing environment due to disruptive behavior. It provides an opportunity for the student to calm down and reflect on their actions. Task analysis. Complex tasks can be broken down into smaller, manageable steps. By teaching one step at a time and gradually building on the skills, students can achieve success more easily. For more information focusing on other categories of learning theories, be sure to explore other national university resources. Drawbacks of working with a behavioral learning model. While behaviorism has its advantages, there are also drawbacks to consider. Critics argue that behaviorism focuses solely on external behavior and overlooks the influence of internal cognitive processes. It may not fully address complex learning, creativity, and critical thinking skills, which are essential in today's education. Additionally, excessive reliance on behaviorist techniques may lead to a rigid and overly controlled learning environment, limiting students' autonomy and creativity. Working with a behavioral learning model can also have some drawbacks for educators and students alike. Some of these drawbacks are: lack of focus on cognitive skills. The behavioral model primarily emphasizes observable behaviors and external stimuli. It may overlook the development of critical thinking, problem solving, and higher order cognitive skills, which are essential for long-term learning and academic success. Limited application to complex learning. The behavioral approach is most suitable for simple and rote learning tasks. However, it may not fully address the complexities of real-world problem solving and creative thinking, which require deeper understanding and analysis. Narrow assessment of learning outcomes. Behavioral learning often relies on measurable outcomes, such as correct responses or completion of tasks. This narrow focus might neglect other valuable aspects of learning, such as creativity, emotional intelligence, and social skills. Possible overemphasis on rewards and punishments. A heavy reliance on rewards and punishments may lead to extrinsic motivation, where students perform for the sake of rewards rather than a genuine interest in learning. This could hinder intrinsic motivation and long-term engagement. Limited individualization. The behavioral model might not fully accommodate individual differences in learning styles, strengths, and challenges. Some students may require personalized approaches that consider their unique needs. Potential for negative emotional impact. Punishments and negative reinforcement can sometimes lead to stress, anxiety, and fear of failure among students. This negative emotional impact may hinder their overall learning experience. Short-term focus. Behaviorist techniques often yield quick results in terms of behavior change. However, their effects may not be long-lasting, and students might revert to previous behaviors once the external incentives are removed. Less autonomy and creativity. The behavioral approach may limit students' autonomy and creativity since they are encouraged to follow specific instructions and predefined behavioral expectations. Despite these drawbacks, it's essential to acknowledge that behaviorist techniques can still be valuable tools when used in moderation and in conjunction with other educational approaches. By combining various teaching methods, educators can create a more balanced and effective learning environment that addresses the diverse needs of students. Balancing learning models. It is important to recognize that one learning model is unlikely to work for all situations and all students. Educators should consider a balanced approach that incorporates various learning theories, including behaviorism, constructivism, and social learning theory. By blending different instructional strategies and considering individual student needs, educators can create a dynamic and inclusive learning environment that supports diverse learning styles and promotes holistic development. Conclusion. Behaviorism in education offers valuable insights into the ways external stimuli and consequences shape behavior and learning. By understanding and applying the principles of behavioral learning theory, educators can create effective teaching strategies, foster positive learning environments, and enhance student engagement. While behaviorism has its limitations, a balanced approach that incorporates multiple learning models can cater to the diverse needs of students and promote comprehensive learning outcomes. National University's Master of Arts in Social Emotional Learning can prepare you for an educational career that focuses on emotional learning to empower educational communities.